Hello everyone, Maurice and welcome to Invest. Talk about investing, finance, professional development. For today's very items only. The investment I'm going to talk about today will be Fomc ETH. First, just want to say happy Monday, everybody, for a very great weekend, by the way. With respect to Ethereum, some recordings of 9:57 a.m. on Eastern Time, currently trading to $2,336, up about 0.74%. With respect to the news affectation that I've been collecting for the last 12 hours so far, collectively speaking, it's definitely a lot of positive pressure that we've been cultivating for the last, I would say, 4 days so far, right? With the catalyst stem from the B Word Summit, and then the explosions of other news with respect to the expectations of London forecast expected debut, basically, I would say 1.5 weeks out from now, which is going to be transforming the Ethereum platform, the value proposition, in a more innovative and user-friendly manner going forward. Obviously, it's going to be a great gravitas to the momentum of buying pressure going forward. And also with respect to the B word summons we heard specifically from Elon Musk, Kathy Wood, and even Jack Dorsey himself, and even Steve, the commentator, that Elon has confirmed that he's currently an investor in both Bitcoin, Ethereum, and even Dogecoin, right? And with respect to a potential hint that Elon may be giving us, that is Tesla currently holding Ethereum, Dogecoin, and Bitcoin respectively in the balance sheet right now? We know that SpaceX is currently accepting Dogecoin, but how are we, Tesla's balance sheet looking at right now, right? We know that they currently hold Bitcoin, but if we get a step of approval for Ethereum at the same time, this will subsequently drive a lot of buying pressure. So I think this is some sort of a rumor affectation that's going on right now, right? Another news that we got is really coming from another tech giant, and this time it's coming from Amazon, from Jeff Bezos, right? And currently, and this is a kind of a rumor, and if you looked on the LinkedIn post on Amazon or their job posting, right, you see that they're currently hiring a product lead, a product manager focusing on cryptocurrencies, right? So with respect to this, what a product manager does, right? So they typically are like the internal consultants that takes an idea, right, and then strategize the idea, and then work with the cross-function teams in the company, and then build some tactical projects into making that into an actual value proposition that can be built into the business model, right? So a product manager for crypto assets or cryptocurrencies is basically a hedge for how is Amazon going to be strategizing on potentially accepting cryptocurrencies going forward, right? So definitely a great gravitas, great positive market catalyst news on driving the whole, crypto assets class to be going up, right? And that's why we've been sustaining these positive consecutive days so far, ahead of the obviously the London fork. However, today is a relatively interesting day, right? We have the Tesla earnings call today. So if we hear anything specific about the keyword Ethereum adoption, or putting anything Ethereum related into the balance sheets, or Bitcoin related into the balance sheet, or purchasing more, it will subsequently drive Ethereum price to go up and Bitcoin obviously to go up, right? So we have to hear more about how they're managing their cash balance or their crypto balance in their balance sheet right now. And then subsequently is the FOMC meeting, which is on 27, 28, right? We know that the meeting duration is, based on the Fed's website, is 27, 28. But when do we see the specific affectation to the price fluctuations going forward, right? So we have to hedge that, right? So I'm going to go through a technical analysis to see what the resistance level we need to look out for. What are the level we need to be watching to dollar cost average? And how do we think logically through these like extremely volatile days that we should be expecting ahead of us? Right, so stay tuned, stick around, let's make some money. All right, so moving on to the technical analysis for Ethereum ticket ETH, on recordings of 10:01 a.m. on Eastern Time, current trend like $2,339, up about 0.89%. And you can see that in the recent time frame, we are definitely leap up and away. And with respect to RSI, we're highly overbought right now. With respect to MACD, we're very, very stretched up. So this is, a little bit worrisome to me because of the fact that we're pumping so up and away. And again, whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast, right? And I think this is a percolations across, mainly driven by obviously a lot of the media affectation I've been hearing so far, right? Basically 4 consecutive days of positive news, right? So Risk is definitely increasing, right? We know that we've broken through various different resistance levels. Firstly, we broke through the 1800, which is the first level, the 1850, and the next level, the 1900. But again, the flat numbers of the 1800, 1900, I wouldn't really count them as like true resistance level. Those are just flat numbers, right? And then the next level is the 1960 per hour discussions, the 2050, right? And then we leaped up 2150, right? Which is the level of escalator that we've identified so far. And then the next one we reach all the way above. Like we even touched the 2250. We just went all the way up to the next level of the 2350, which is the current level that we at right now, right? So I think the guns are really hot right now. The rocket is all the way up in the air right now. And it needs to cool down because these consecutive green days are great, but you have to think logically, right? So would I be advising taking some profit right now? I think so because the FOMC meeting is happening on the 27th, 28th. Depending on what happens later today with respect to the Tesla earnings call, we might hear about Ethereum or we might not, right? Because Elon is known for dropping hints here and there, right? You know what I'm trying to say? And every single time we see something on his Twitter posts that are kind of, foreshadow, but it's kind of like a how would you say, like a code, like a Morse code, if you may, that you have to kind of decipher and understand, and then think back, like, oh, he was dropping hints the whole time, like giving us like breadcrumbs on the trail the whole time. And I think with respect to the B Word Summit, him specifically talk about the respective cryptocurrencies that he's currently holding. I wouldn't be surprised if he talks about that specifically, and that could subsequently leap up, right? If he talks about that, we'll definitely go above the 2,450, right? And then we potentially sell off from there because we're extremely overbought right now. And I would advise if you were to maybe buy some put options or maybe selling your holdings if you bought at the 1750, which I did. But again, I wouldn't sell for myself because my cost average is so low. I don't want to be doing that just to pay tax for no reason because I do see potential volatility coming, right? Ultimately, my goal is to get 100 Ethereum, uh, you know, hopefully someday, right? And this is the time that you see and that you want to maybe hold off because it's running so hot. And I think a lot of people probably are buying right now because they don't know the principle of supply and demand dynamics, right? And if you know the technical analysis, then they've been listening and learning from the technical analysis that we've been going through together so far, you can understand where we're coming from, right? So I would suggest maybe advising your friends, tell them that like, hey, might be time to maybe take some profit right now. Might be time to take practice patient right now, and not chase the pump. We get it. This is great. It feels good, but risk is also increasing at the same time, right? Would you rather be buying things on a premium or a discount, right? And I would say we are at a premium at the current level based on the supply dynamics right now. And this is nothing truly substantive, right? This is a lot of like long-term value proposition substance, but with respect to like what's driving this and how fast it's driving is mainly coming from the news, right? So buy the rumor, sell the news, and the news is percolating. I would advise taking some profit, soon if you may, right, ahead of the FOMC meeting, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Again, FOMC meeting based on the 3 consecutive meetings we've had so far. Every single time they scream inflationary pressure or quantitative tightening or tapering, there's always been just a sell off across the whole market, right? Not just for crypto, but for equity as well, right? So something to be mindful of. And if we crash down, the first level will be testing 2,250. I think we'll kind of hover there for a little bit because we do have a gap that need to form, so we need to consolidate. If we have a really negative FOMC meeting, the whole market's going to sell off, and we will definitely test the 2,150. And I think that will be a good level for us to cool down because of how hot we are right now. And I think that normalization zone could be ideal because that's a level I've tested at least 26 times so far, and I've been counting. Right, this weekend was the 25th, so if we go there, that will be 26 coming up. All right, just to go through the technical analysis in a more high level perspective. Again, right, the current level is, we're very overbought right now. So I think a more ideal zone we might potentially get to by the FOMC meeting would be the 2,150, because that's a level that we've tested 25 times historically, and I think that's like a comfort zone for the market despite the whole pump that we've had so far. So it kind of normalized from there. But are we not going to see like a whole complete reversal all the way back to the 1750? That's just not normal. It doesn't happen that way in this normal supply and demand dynamics, right? But 2,150 is very logical, and I think that's a fair level for you to buy at. I wouldn't advise buying now, but if you buy a put right now, I think that's probably logical. I think that that would be a great methodology that you want to apply. With respect to attractive level, if we break that, 2050 would be the next level, basically testing before the flat number, the 2000, right? We break that, 1950 is coming, but do we see that? I think probably, depending on how hot is the gun coming forward, right? But I think with respect to the FOMC meeting, there's a likelihood that we'll be kind of hovering around these levels, right? And I think breaking down to 2000 would be difficult because of the corporate adoptions and obviously the stamp of approval from a lot of the tech giants already. I think a lot of people are buying, and obviously more long-term investors are shifting, to buy more, and also like short-term investors shifting to long-term investors at the same time. So that would create some, sustainability pressure going forward for the price point for Ethereum, right? With respect to corporate adoption, 20%, 9,800, 4.6 times your money if you buy at the 2,150. So that's it for their respective technical analysis on the Ethereum ticker ETH. Hopefully this is helpful into giving you that clarity, the level of executions that we ideally want to be doing, the logical mindset that we are chasing for, right? And with respect to the, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I know it's going to be a volatile couple of days coming up, so I'm always here. I'm always available for you guys, so feel free to reach out to me, and I'll try to respond to you guys accordingly. I do have a relatively busy schedule ahead of this week, but I'll try to do as much as I can to help as many people as we can, collectively speaking, right? So please stay tuned for the next video coming up. Take care. Bye.